Yahoo Fantasy Baseball, the Tucson Toros League. This is your Week 18 quick take. AZ Padres becomes the first team in 2010 to knock off Twice as Nice, winning 8-2 in decisive fashion. For Twice as Nice, this is that team's first loss of the season and finishes the year 8-11-1 against AZ Padres in 2 matchups this season. For AZP, a 7-week win streak now holds wins over 4 of the top 6 teams in the league as well. Swept the offensive side and took pitching 3-2 against the best team in the league, bar none, up to this point. AZ Padres had 7 players on the offensive side hit homers. Adrian Beltre had 3 homers of his own, 9 RBIs, and a .370 average. Ichiro Suzuki chipped in 4 stolen bases and a .400 average, overcoming 5 players on the squad hitting under .200 for AZ Padres, including Ben Zobrist, who hit .111. For Twice as Nice, just 3 players managed home runs this week. Now, Adam Dunn did chip in 5 home runs on his own, 11 RBIs. Aaron Hill chipped in 3 homers. The rest of the squad managed just 1. For Twice as Nice, just 3 players were able to hit over .300 for the week. Aubrey Huff struggled, hitting just .217, and Carl Crawford, even worse, hitting just .100. For Twice as Nice, took the strikeouts and wins categories, but got killed in ERA and WHIP on the pitching side. The bright spot, though, Tim Hudson, 2 wins, 9 Ks, and a 0.64 ERA. For Twice as Nice, though, 8 pitchers had an ERA over 5, including Matt Lidstrom's 27 ERA and Ryan Franklin's 15.43 ERA. For AZ Padres, 5 pitchers managed a 0 ERA for the week, including Trevor Cahill, who had 2 wins, 6 Ks, and a 0 ERA. In other action, the grassy knoll made up some ground this week on first place by knocking off Waveland and Sheffield 6-3-1. Knoll rebounds from last week's loss and has now won 10 of the last 11 weeks, while Waveland has not won in 7 straight weeks now. Knoll took 4 of 5 on the pitching side, and offense was a 2-2-1 split. However, 8 of the 10 battles were very tight. Waveland took runs and RBIs, while Knoll took stolen bases and average. They split the homer category 6-6. For Knoll, 6 players hit over .300, won the stolen bases category 1-0. Torrey Hunter had the only stolen base between both these teams all week long. He also hit .500. For Knoll, struggles for Miguel Cabrera, 200 average and no homers this week, and Carlos Quinton hit just .167 this week, but they were still able to force a 2-2-1 split. Waveland's offense was led by Albert Pujols with 3 homers and 8 RBIs with a .522 average. The rest of the team managed just 3 homers. 5 players hit under .200 for Waveland, including the returning Jason Hayward, who had just one run and hit .150 for the week. Knoll, on the pitching side, 7 pitchers with an ERA under 2, including Vicente Padilla with a win, 9 Ks, and a 0 ERA. The team whipped this week 0.96, thanks in part to 3 closers, picking up 2 saves, 5 Ks, and a 0 ERA this week. Waveland's pitching staff, the lone victory, Ted Lilly. Francisco Rodriguez picked up 2 saves for Waveland with a 0 ERA, but there were struggles elsewhere, as Bobby Jenks had just 1 save with a 13.5 ERA, and Zach Greinke managed no wins with a 7.71 ERA. In other action, Otis and the Drunks knocked off the Metropolitans 8-2. Otis' 3rd straight win now, while Mets has now lost 3 straight. Otis took 4 out of 5 on the offensive side and on the pitching side. Mark Teixeira led the Otis offense with 4 homers, 10 RBIs. The rest of the team managed just 4 combined home runs. Just 2 players hit over .300, though. 5 players hit under .200, 3 of them being Yankees. Jorge Posada hit .167, Brett Gardner hit .095, and Curtis Granderson hit .167 for the week. For the Metropolitans, 6 of 9 players used on the offensive side didn't manage a home run, including Alex Rodriguez, but A-Rod hit just .158 for the week. On the pitching side, just 5 players were used for Metropolitan staff. They did win the saves category 4-0, using Billy Wagner for 3 saves this week. However, Urban Santana brought down the pitching staff with a 22.09 ERA. For Otis and the Drunks, the pitching side was all about Brandon Morrow. 2 wins, 26 Ks, a .084 whip. This guy was 1 out away from a no-hitter this week. And also chipping in on the pitching side, Matt Latos with 1 win, 12 Ks, and a 1.5 ERA. In other action, Jimmy Dugan knocked off Koufax's Revenge 9-0-1. This was Dugan's first time picking up consecutive victories since weeks 9 and 10 for Koufax's worst loss of the season in a very tight battle. Dugan swept the pitching side 5-0, then took offense 4-0-1. Homers was the lone tie 5-5. Dugan, 7 players hitting over 300 this week from one of the teams that struggled in the average category. B.J. Upton, 320 average, 2 homers, 6 RBIs, and 4 stolen bases. Though just 3 players for the Dugan offense managed home runs. Even worse, though, Koufax's Revenge managed just 2 home runs. Or 2 players hitting home runs, I should say. Carlos Gonzalez hit 4 home runs on his own, 8 RBIs, and 3 stolen bases with a .423 average. 5 players, though, on the Koufax offense hit under 200, including Eben Longoria, who hit 192. For Dugan, 6 pitchers picked up wins, and 4 different pitchers earned a save this week. Koufax countered with Roy Halladay's 2 wins and 19 Ks, and then had 3 pitchers with a 0 ERA, but none of those 3 pitchers picked up a win or a save, not really helping the cause. Greek Thunder knocked off Lucky 7-2-1. Greek, this is that team's 5th straight win. Lucky's only winning streak of the season now ends at 2. Greek swept pitching, took offense to a 2-2-1 split between the 2 squads. Greek used just 9 players on the offensive side. Just 3 players managed homers. Just 1 stolen base as a team, and only 3 players managed to hit over 300, but they were able to force the split 2-2-1 anyway. On the pitching side, 6 pitchers for Greek with an ERA under 2, 3 closers with 4 saves combined, and a 0 ERA. For Lucky's pitching staff, the lone win, CC Sabathia, was canceled out by AJ Burnett's awful performance, going 15.43 in the ERA category this week, and then Jonathan Papelbon's 3 saves were canceled out by Chad Qualls' no saves and an 11.57 ERA. Also in action, a huge upset as Derek Loico's Cheater knocked off Hunt 1981 8-1-1 in a decisive victory. This ends Cheater's 4-week losing streak. Hunt is now outside the top 6 by 4 games after this loss. Cheater won offense 4-1 and won pitching 4-0-1. Cheater, 6 players hit homers this week, including Ryan Zimmerman's 4 home runs. 6 players hit over 300 on the offense. No player for Cheater hit under 230. For Hunt, only 8 players were used on the offensive side. 3 players are currently listed on the DL. Just 2 homers as a team, but did manage to take the stolen bases category 2-1 thanks to Alexi Ramirez's 2 stolen bases. For Cheater, 2 pitchers with double-digit Ks. Giovanni Gallardo, 2 wins, 19 Ks this week. Leo Nunez was a huge disappointment for Hunt 1981. No saves this week and a 12 ERA. For Tucson's Prettiest, a split with the Androids this week, 4-4-2. Tucson's Prettiest took pitching 4-0-1, split the Ks category. Androids took offense 4-0-1, split the homers category. Androids had good performances from Jason Kubel, Prince Fielder, and Michael Bourne this week. Tucson's Prettiest countered with Adam LaRoche. On the pitching side, though, Tucson's Prettiest, Johan Santana with a win at 17 Ks, while Androids, John Lackey, 14 Ks but an 8.7 ERA. And in the last matchup of the week, Woodallas beat Bronx Bombers in the battle of 15th and 16th, 7-3. Woodallas ends a 7-week losing streak and finishes 2-0 against Bronx Bombers in 2010. Bombers, the losing streak is now at 10 weeks. Next week, Week 19 action, twice as nice, is now up 12 games in the standings. Going to take on Otis and the Drunks, who sits 6th, just 2.5 out of 5th. Grassy Knoll's going to take on Jimmy Dugan in an important matchup. Dugan just 2.5 games out of 4th, while Knoll sits 2nd, 12 back. Greek Thunder, a game and a half out of 2nd place, going to take on Waveland and Sheffield, who's losing touch with that top 6 fast, now 12 games out of 6th place. AZ Padres, coming off the huge victory, is just 2.5 games out of 3rd, going to take on 15th place Woodallas. Hunt 1981, 4 games out of 6, sitting 7th, going to take on Lucky. Metropolitans is 5.5 games behind Tucson's Prettiest, who sits 9th. TP is going to be Met's opponent this week. And Koufax's Revenge, just 3 games out of 10th, sitting 11th, is going to take on 13th place Androids, who's a game and a half out of the last postseason slot. And Derek Loico's Cheater, 7.5 games out of 11th, going to take on Bronx Bombers, who's last by 5 games. So we'll hope to see you back next week for your Tucson Toros Quick Take, Week 19.